Circus parades are always fun, so have one today. Who would you like to be? A lovely white circus pony, prancing and dancing in time to the music? A clown making funny faces as he hobbles along? Or a lion tamer looking brave and strong? Make your choice and be ready. It's time for the circus parade to begin. Lion tamer, looking brave and strong. Circus parades are always fun, so have one today. Who would you like to be? A lovely white circus pony, prancing and dancing in time to the music? A clown making funny faces as he hobbles along? Or a lion tamer, looking brave and strong? Make your choice and be ready. It's time for the circus parade to begin. Brave and strong.
Good evening, folks. 30 seconds to showtime. Grab your seat, leave your drinks to the bar. Hold your breath, put your hands together. We present Stanford Bay's finest star. Who has danced with the Mariner Guinea? Who has dined with the Queen of Vermont? We trace the voyages of Sinbad. Corresponded with the men who can't live to be. C'est pas la même chose que la vache qui rit. Et la vache est fort, mon ami.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of the G Spot. Today, I'm branching out. I'm talking to somebody who is an amazing composer and musician, all the way from Los Angeles, California. This is Michael Mortilla. How are you doing, Michael?
Good, and it rhymes with gorilla.
Oh, Mortilla. That is right. I remember you talking about it, like when we had when we first quote unquote met, because we haven't met in person, but both of us have a mutual friend who is doing like a creativity sort of Zoom call. That's right, it's Michael Mortilla, like gorilla. I'm embarrassed. I should know better
Oh, don't
because
be,
people.
don't be. Everybody gets
Yeah,
it wrong.
that's just it. I have the name Jeff with a G, which is why I started calling myself that because of mispronunciations and misspelling. So I should do better. Anyway, um, ah,
What are you
So
drinking?
I'm just doing some straight whiskey. Uh,
Oh, water.
no, just whiskey.
You- Yeah, I usually put water in whiskey, not bourbon. What whiskey is it?
Actually, it's a whiskey out of Texas called the Old Humble Special Reserve, which is a very nice, smooth sort of whiskey. Uh, I really enjoy it. Luckily, it is available to be bought here in New York City, which is where I live
Oh, yeah.
now. It used to be just like very Texas local, but they figured out a way to get like stores up here. I just have to hassle all the stores here to carry it. Um, because every liquor store in New York is individually owned versus like any sort of chains, which makes it really difficult to try to bring some in, especially when people who are like a small time distiller makes it really difficult for them to branch into this market because you have to go, all right, cool. I'm gonna go into this store and this store. So now I just have to hassle every liquor store I walk by to go, hey, do you guys have Old Humble? What? Oh, yeah, it's from Texas. It's amazing. Here's the contact information, and just try to get it up here. I've
Oh,
turned some people onto it up here, so I'm hoping we're getting some stuff like that because it's a good whiskey. I really like it a lot. It's my favorite.
yeah. Any whiskey's good whiskey.
No, I've had some bad whiskeys too.
No, I
I've
know.
been, but no, like it's really hard. It's like pizza. Like even even bad pizza still kind of good with pizza. Like actually, even a bad whiskey just becomes a mixing whiskey, and so you just all right, cool. I'm just gonna do like whiskey and coke or something like that. Just becomes a mixer versus just on its own. But I like drinking whiskey on its own a lot of times. But I also enjoy a good Manhattan. I enjoy a good old fashioned. Whiskey sours can be really good sometimes.
What can you
I
tell
just
us about the tattoos on your arms?
what tattoos?
Yeah, tell us about those.
Oh yeah, sure.
You're
So
just
I
supposed to interview me, but I'm going to interview you.
oh well,
What
the
the?
great thing is it's not really an interview; it's a conversation. The idea is it's a
I know.
conversation.
Yeah.
So
Don't give me.
I have this. I actually have this
It's
right
free.
here. It's a mouse trap. It says Sideshow
Yeah.
Life on it. I
Nice.
got this in 2019 in Austin, Texas, on Halloween. Because like
Huh.
uh, yeah, literally on Halloween. Um, like I came late in the game getting into Sideshow. Sideshow changed my like saved my life. I'm not gonna lie, and so I wanted to commemorate that. On the other
Yeah.
side, I have a
Oh,
little
sweet.
ghost in a bottle, so like a spirits.
Oh, I like it.
Hey, yeah, it's I got this in Vegas in the January 2020, back when the world was normal. Those are the
Yeah.
ones I have here on my arms. I got some more up here and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. I'm
Cool.
slowly growing them out. Now I'm in New York. I plan on getting something on my arm here too. It just I gotta get money first. So I can where I gotta get like money like that I can disposable money where I can do things like get a tattoo.
Or go into space.
Yeah, that's so or going to space. Yeah, that's my plan. Actually, not gonna lie, there was a program. It's called the I think it's called the Dear Moon Project, uh, where some Japanese artist bought seven or eight tickets to Tesla's to Elon Musk's rocket to go that goes into space. because his is going to be the first one's going to have like go into space versus
Or
kind of.
he's already got a Tesla orbiting the Earth.
Oh, the
With,
car, yeah. Yeah, it's just driving around, a robot driving it around. Yeah,
stunning.
no, but he's actually going to have like a full fledged like it's supposed to go. It's the Dear Me project basically. Musk has said his project is to go. It's gonna circle the moon and come back is the idea. And so this artist from Japan bought all the available seats, and so he's going to go, and then he is doing a contest with different artists, like whether it's movement, art itself, whatever, to go up there and figure out how to do art in space, essentially is the idea. And so I actually submitted for it. I go, hey, this is what I do. I do sideshow. I do a little bit of magic and stuff like that. I would love to have this opportunity to figure out how to make those things work and create something awesome in space. So
Yeah.
who knows? And I figured it's just different enough. At least I'll go up a couple of levels.
But
I mean, a win.
aren't we in space anyway?
Oh, well, at least in between our ears, yeah.
It's a matter
yeah.
of getting the audience.
Yeah, that's the idea. But I thought I figured, well, it cost me nothing to sign up, so I figured let's see what happens. I haven't heard anything since, but I haven't heard anything progressing anywhere, just other than the initial thing. So I went, who knows? There's a possibility that I might do this. And it's like it's like 3 years from now when they're planning to do it. Like the launch is planned for that far out. So who knows? Maybe not. And if it does, cool. If not, I lost nothing by doing it.
No, of course. It sounds like a cool plan. I would love
Yeah,
to do
that's definitely more worthwhile than what some of the other people did going into the quote unquote space. Uh, I will give Bezos credit for two things with his is the other other than his brother, the two other passengers he had in Blue
Yeah.
Origin. One was a guy who just graduated high school who just turned 18. So that guy became the youngest person ever to go into space.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And then the
And
other
that
person
woman
was,
from NASA.
and then yeah, the woman from NASA who basically like she would have been
84
on
years
like the
old.
Apollo. Yeah, she would have been in the Apollo plane in the Apollo flights, except
She
people
didn't
don't
have
like
the
women.
nuts. She didn't have the balls to do it.
Yeah, hey. So she was like 80. She was 80 something, and so she was the oldest person to go into space. So I'm going, yeah. I go.
Really,
I'll
John?
give him that.
How old was John Glenn? I guess he was 76 when he went up.
Yeah, he was 70. Like like the last time he went up was like 70. It was 76. Ooh, what a piece of work that guy was.
That's when they grew American politicians that were honest. Not
Quote
anymore.
unquote. It's
Some of them.
well, I mean, the one side is definitely completely not honest, and the other side is
Mildly dishonest.
sometimes.
No, it's like I got an email from Nancy Pelosi today because I'm a Democrat. It's a Democrat.
Yeah,
But and the email said, "I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for your opinions." And I went through the list. I tried to be a good Democrat and went through the list. And it's like, what's the most important thing? Voting rights was not on the list. I had to put other. But then I got to the bottom of the list, and it's like, I want to donate blah 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 X number of dollars, and you couldn't complete it unless you did that. It's like, all right, fuck you. I'm not going to give you dollars. That's not what you need. You need a spine. And I think she's got one. I think that commission for the 1/6 commission could do some good.
it's they've already bounced a couple of people who were very obviously part of the insurrection movement, so that's
Jim
good.
Jordan. I love it.
It's see, don't get it. I just recently moved from Texas, and everybody in Texas just horrible. Like I would get those emails and stuff like that from the people in Texas, and literally all of them they go, "What can I do for your like Lloyd?" Like I go, "Well, you could die in a fire, or like just retire, just anything, or do actually listen to your people." It doesn't, and Texas also has literally like the worst governor when it comes to anything right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Greg Abbott, piece of shit. And I lived in Austin, which was funny because we had a Democratic mayor who hated Abbott and vice versa. And Austin, being the capital of Texas, So anything Abbott would do, and like all these big mandates, like with like masks and stuff like that when I first came around, uh, the Austin mayor and the Austin everybody like Austin government would go, yeah, but see, we're still seeing too many numbers, so we're not going to listen to you. And then like the state of Texas would sue Austin, the city of Austin. That literally happened.
Yeah.
And the state of Texas lost just twice
You know,
because they tried.
that used to be there was a sitcom about that in the 50s and 60s called Abbott and Costello. And they were always at odds with each other. It's like Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, Abbott and Costello. Yeah, except yeah, Costello wasn't the name of the mayor. But anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, no
so
kidding.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
uh, So the reason I thought it'd be cool to have you on here before is like we've chatted before about bringing you on. I'm glad you had it on is because I am a huge fan of music and I know you do a lot of stuff that I really adore. I went back the first time I met and chatted with you. You go, hey, this is what I do, and I went and I did a little research. I did a little listen to some stuff that you had like that actually has
Uh-oh.
been broadcast. Seen. I know it's all been good. I've been loving it. I
Well, I
I
thought it was all great. But
I loved it. So no, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. That's I wouldn't have you on if I
no,
didn't
thank you.
enjoy.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's
I
how.
worked my ass off.
Yeah. For the people in the cheap seats, come on, turning in now. Here, what's the elevator pitch? Who is Michael Mortilla? What do you do, and why should people really pay attention?
Are you asking me?
I am.
Okay. Well, what I do is I write music. Well, I create music. I write music, but I also create spontaneous music. Um, and I do it for a lot of people. I've written probably. Oh, and this is not a brag. I don't want to sound like Joe Biden because I'll trip over my words. This is not a brag, but I probably had over 2,000 pieces produced in the last 50 years. And by produced I mean they were like a theatrical production, a dance production, um, a magic show, a TV show, radio drama, dance piece, a lot of dance pieces, tons of dance pieces, maybe more dance than anything else. But no, I become invisible to a large degree. It's like when the show starts and the music starts, it's like you don't think when you're watching Star Wars, John Williams, damn John Williams. You're thinking, wow, look at that. And so I don't know that people really need to know who I am, but
I
my presence is there.
I disagree because the fact is you actually use a really good example because I don't like Star Wars would not the Star Wars in like the 18,000 movies that John Williams did. Those
Yeah.
movies would not be where they're at without having him as far as part of that emotional center. That's the reason why people know who he is because of what the contribution is
Yeah,
so great. You can't.
but who knows who he is the critical thing. Who knows who he is? The old adage in show business that I've always heard was, "It's not what you know, it's who you know." I don't think that's correct. I think it's not what you know, it's who knows you.
That is very true. But the fact is, like,
Yeah.
they're actually touring symphonies that actually just do John Williams music, and they
Oh
sell
yeah, of
out
course.
those places. So yeah, it's one of
I know
those.
those guys.
No, it's. I think that's a very important thing, and I think. I mean, I like seeing. Well, one is I like seeing how I'm a weird sort of person when it comes to anything like any sort of theatrical movies, saying stuff like it. I like knowing how the sausage is made, so I like knowing who
Yeah.
made the music, who did the thing.
Of course.
Uh, but like but I also know that a lot of people. I mean, there are a lot of people who don't care, or they go, or at the very least, they don't think they care because they just don't ever think about it.
Well,
Sometimes they don't. They say,
it's not that for me. It's the collaborative aspect of it. It becomes whatever that event that you're creating for becomes an entity in and of itself. And I don't want to shine more than any other person in that. I want to contribute as much as I can to make all them shine. So
yeah,
it's like I'm doing this theater. I have a theater piece opening in Oxnard in a week, which I need to finish tonight. Um, and I feel like I don't want people to notice me. I want them to experience the event. So it's not, I guess your question, if I'm understanding your question was, why would people want to know about me? The only people I care about are the producers of content that might want to use music, original music that's not,
I know people like well that's weird sort of things. I know like even me, I always look for new stuff as far as like that. So it's like that's a very worthwhile thing to know. And like even though
Oh yeah,
like people
about
will
the clock.
yeah.
How much per minute? I'll play you some stuff.
No, it's like, but that's the but it's while like for the live event, I agree with you. The idea is to have the whole experience and just watch the thing and let it live in. But like it's the later on when like some like at least people like myself and a lot of people I know is like the afterwards they'll sit there and dissect every little nuance and go, well, why
Oh yeah,
is this
yeah,
good
yeah.
and stuff like that. And that's why it's important to know. Go, all right, cool. This music really like part of what made the movement as far as
Yeah.
why I felt like what helped generate the feeling within me was listening to this
Yeah.
piece of music and
No, I
stuff
get
like
I get
that.
that.
So
And as a composer, I mean it's self-imposed, but I kind of live in a capsule. I never listen to like FM radio songs. I could tell you who the top 20 artists are now. Um, I don't follow any of that stuff. I live in my own world of music. So I guess that's why the whole thing about personality to me doesn't really resonate. That why I would want people to know about me personally. I would want them to know about the projects I'm working in.
well, that in a lot of ways that is also you, so that's fine. I mean, I'm not asking like, all right, cool. So, what do you think of the new, T Swift single or something like that? Because it's fine, you don't. So, I mean, I don't even know what it is either. I don't. I also
You
don't
mean
listen to.
Taylor?
Yeah, Taylor. I also don't listen to FM radio. I probably couldn't tell you. I mean, I know who probably the top 20 people if they put the list in front of me, just so I know who they are because I do because of the stuff I do. I listen to all sorts of different things, but
Yeah.
it's not. But I'm also going, all right, cool, that's cool, not cool. Because once upon a time, I used to work in music on for a label as an A&R rep. So my
Oh,
job
cool.
was to listen. I literally was listening to music to go, all right, that's good, that's not good. I can see
Yeah.
where legs are and stuff like that. So it's
What label?
so BMG
Oh, well, I don't know who they are, but I've heard the name.
back in the 90s. So it's
Yeah.
back when yeah I was there and I was going to school at the University of North Texas in Denton, just south of Dallas. And so in the mid 90s when Dallas blew up with all this the artists, all of like alt rock and stuff like that, like hit big out of the Dallas Fort Worth area. Uh, I was working in a record store, and one of the reps came through, and we just started talking about music. He goes, "You know what? I think we're looking for an extra guy." And I talked to his
Yeah.
boss, and I was with him for like I think 8 months.
Yeah.
They didn't listen to me once of all the things I think they should have worked, because that's usually how it works. And 2 years later, the sound, the basically the big sound that came to be was all the stuff I was referencing. Oh, hey, you need to have this sort of like these. It wasn't those bands, but the sounds that those bands were making hit big later. So I go, yeah, you should have listened to me because that literally you could have signed essentially that band here now and could have made $1 billion. But oh well. So that's why I'm a nerd about listening to article who's doing what, listening to that sort of stuff. I went to high school. I was in band, so I did a lot of stuff like that. I was in
What did you
percussion.
play?
I was in
Oh, me too.
percussion, so
Me too. Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
yeah,
all my training is in percussion. I have very little training in keyboard and composition.
I mean, I mean,
Whatever.
rhythm is yeah. Well, I think like there's somebody that says like rhythm is really the language of life, and so that makes sense. I can't remember who said that, or I made it up. I
Somebody
don't
whose
know. I've been
heart was
drinking.
beating.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a wait. I'm in my studio, so I'm playing with my toys. I'm
No
writing a little
worries.
show
Yeah,
here.
I'm.
Does that sound okay? Does that sound realistic?
Yeah. It sounded kind of like a weird, like smooth, sexy jazz, and then it popped over to
Well,
the piano.
that's because the style I was playing. But what about the quality of the transmission?
I
Is that
I could hear it fine. Yeah.
You know that song?
Is it Strangers in the Night?
Here's the head.
Oh,
Who is that? Melanie, I think. Those are the days. I got my first kiss to that song from a
oh
woman.
wow.
Yeah, those were the days, baby. Although I lost my virginity the magic carpet ride.
Well, of course you did. I mean, that makes sense for that time period. That
Magic
would,
carpet
yeah.
ride. I just made that connection. Duh.
Of course you did. Of course you did. I mean,
What were we talking about?
I don't know. That's the great thing about this is we're just having a conversation. We can talk about whatever. We're just slowly getting
Can
drunk
you
while
tell if
talking about it.
anybody's actually watching us right now?
We do have a few people watching. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I can
Who?
tell. Well, at least I can tell in one format. I know we are. But some of the other ones I can check real quick.
How many people?
Uh, we're like 4 or 5, I think, between. But don't forget,
Oh,
this is also live. A lot of people will rewatch this stuff later, so
yeah.
which is also good too. So I once again, everybody, look at me. I appreciate you watching whenever you can. It'll be on this channel for a while, and plus it's on my YouTube and stuff like that. So you can watch it
I
later.
feel
It's cool. And make sure you follow FICO Michael. Follow. Cheers, everybody. Follow Michael. I've got his Instagram link right underneath him at Michael.Mortilla, like gorilla, but not. And then he also has a website, midlifecrisis.com, where you can actually check out all his cool shit. And by
Well,
the way,
you can go to mortillagorilla.com.
is there a
There's a
mortillagorilla.com?
mortillagorilla.com. There's also midlifecrisis.com.
That's why I said
I
midlifecrisis.com. Yeah,
have a bunch of
that's Mortilla Gorilla.
That's because I was on a thing called Society 5 or Society 6 or something, because I'm also an artist, a graphic artist.
Oh,
And
amazing art too. That's the other thing. Like that's what I look at all your pictures. I'm always in awe too. So
oh, thank you.
very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah,
It's all improvisational. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
that's most people. That's usually how it works with art. So it's,
Yeah.
like in general across the board. It just
So, would you
yeah.
like to hear some music?
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, sure. I would love
Have
to
you
hear
done that
something.
on your show before? Have somebody play live?
Nobody played live. I've talked to other musicians, but we just talked so far.
Well,
Just like really
how
good
would you like
music
to? What
theory.
would you like to hear? What's your favorite genre of music? Oh, I have to change my camera around here too, don't I? I think
That's
I
up to
can.
you. I mean, let's see. Favorite genre? God, like
I probably
my
can't.
stuff. I like really weird is I've got into like really weird what they call like dark blues sort of stuff, but that's probably not your milieu, as it were. But I also here's the thing. I know you do stuff for like movie soundtracks, especially old silent films. My favorite old silent film, my only favorite old film style is like noir. So like
Oh,
film noir. So
yeah,
I love film noir. If you want to play something along that line, I'm good with that.
yeah. Let me get my camera reset here,
No
so
worries, man.
you can see me playing.
That way you're not lying. Okay, good.
No, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Can you see me okay? I mean,
Yeah, I've seen you fine. Yeah.
yeah, my screen looks really weird, but I'm not looking at my screen.
I can see you
Film
fine. You're all good.
noir. Oh, you know what? My piano is. You're gonna have to hang on while I reprogram my piano. I put a pedal on my piano, and it screwed everything up. I had to send it back.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, but you're gonna. I'm gonna shut off my microphone because you're gonna hear.
No problem.
Okay, that's all you get for that nickel.
Oh, that was amazing. Oh man, I love
So,
that so much.
uh,
No, that's exactly what I wanted to hear, and I didn't realize it. So that was good.
after two Manhattans, that's what I wanted to play. So.
That's like I usually don't like people go, I want to do a thing. Cool, do your thing. I'm not going to tell you to do like I only ask for the conversation. You want to do more? Amazing, and that's once again people watching this. This is the shit. Make sure to follow him on Instagrams. He's also on the Facey Spaces. And, go to midlife.crisis.com. Check out his other stuff. For all my performer friends, he's a guy maybe you can talk to about maybe some music stuff. Because it's definitely worthwhile. I mean, because you're not like most musicians I know are like the traditional, like singer songwritery, guitar, microphone, or like a band, like a contemporary band stuff. So, also great things too. So it's really also nice to know somebody who has a more classic approach to stuff, which I think is really awesome. So
I'll accompany our conversation.
that's fine because we're kind of spacey, getting slowly drunk on our whiskeys and just rambling about random shit. Hey, that's how it goes.
Too, too much fun, man. Sorry.
No, I'm
I'm not
down for
gonna
that.
grow up.
No, it's glad I'm glad to know that I'm not alone in that too. I mean, I've been around for 46 years, and I've actually I've done a lot more hardcore and just like going, oh, cool, I'm gonna have fun and do weird stuff on stage and talk to people. Uh, so I like that, and I'm glad to know that there's people out there who do that too.
Yeah.
How did you get started doing all this sort of stuff?
What, doing music?
Yeah.
Or theater? Well, music, I learned music in the womb. My mother was a singer,
Oh,
and
okay.
she sang literally up till the day before I was born. So I was with her in churches and concert halls and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I think that's where I learned music, frankly. It's from listening, um, as, as an embryo listening. Because I feel like I grew up, but also everybody in my family was musical. So I grew
Okay.
up, as you did. I grew up learning drums, and at least for me in public schools, and that's like all my training is pretty much drums in public school. Um, and then I just got involved in theater and dance, and that's what I wanted to do. And one day I just got up and quit my corporate job. Fortunately, I was young. I was like 19. I quit my corporate job and said, I am a musician from now on, and did not make a lot of money for the first 3 or 4 years. But after that, I hooked into like dance in Manhattan. So I was playing for Martha Graham and Alvin Ailey and Ballet Hispanico and a whole bunch of people. And that led to a gig teaching at the University of California in Santa Barbara for 14 years, where I was resident composer and I taught classes in theater, dance, sometimes film music. Uh, and left there in 2000 and just came to Burbank and been here ever since.
Okay. No,
It's kind of
it's
my life story.
hey, no, it's hey, that sounds really amazing. You found out what you like. One is you found out the thing because everybody has that thing, whatever it can be that gives them that passion, that joy, that drive. You
Yeah.
found that pretty quickly, and you jumped at it, which is really very brave and very cool of you. Cool to have that happen,
Yeah.
and
Also very lucky though because I didn't go to college, but I ended up teaching at a university for 14 years because I knew music. And so it just worked. And nobody ever asked, when I got my first job, I was with, do you know who Martha Graham is?
yeah,
Oh, okay, it's Martha Graham, the dancer.
yeah,
Um,
I know who that is. Yeah.
I was working with her, composing and accompanying a lot of her classes, and worked in her school and toured with the company and all that. In fact, I still play dance classes on Thursday mornings. Well, right now they're in, they have their season going on, so I'm not playing. but starting probably in August, September, I'll be playing dance classes in Indianapolis over Zoom at 7 o'clock in the morning for gram technique classes for a guy that I used to tour with in the 1980s.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah. So anyway, so yeah, because I was working for Graham and I was a good improviser and I could play for classes, the University of California grabbed me to play for dance classes there and to be their composer for dance. And then I work in theater too because they didn't even know I was a theater composer. I mean, that's what I am. If you ask me,
Yeah.
what do you do, Michael? Like, I'm a theater composer. Thank you. But rarely do I get to compose for theater these days. So I'm thrilled that I'm doing this piece in Oxnard called Wrench at the Teatro de los Americanos, which is a pretty cool space, I have to say. It's used to be a furniture store, um, and the piece we're doing supposedly takes place in an automobile garage, and this is perfect because there's like the back door opens in this space, and there's a hoist, and we use it's a very abstract. The guy who does it, James Donlin, who's the director and writer, uh, is an incredible movement artist, and it's a pretty amazing piece, very spiritual piece in its own way.
Okay.
So it's that, but I'm working on that now, and I wanted to ask you about Coney Island though, because I used to live in
Yeah.
Manhattan for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So I remember my father taking me to sideshows
Yeah.
on Long Island and in Brooklyn. And
Yeah.
do they still have those? I mean, actual
Oh yeah.
sideshows.
Yeah. The Coney there's Coney Island USA, which is a nonprofit here that which has like the Coney Island Museum, and then they also have a stage area where they have the freak show by the seashore. Still, in fact, like from like at least during season, which we're in that right now. Yeah, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they run like 6 or 7 shows
Hmm.
with like 4 or 5 4 or 5 performers, and they'll
Yeah, what
do
kind of acts
crazy.
do they do? It's like Hot Rod Lincoln does do stuff like that. Yeah.
Hot Todd Lincoln.
Todd, right?
He is,
Sorry.
yeah. Hot Todd is a sideshow performer. I think he had the opportunity to perform here once. He's not doing it regularly here right now. I think.
By the
Uh,
way,
pardon me.
I said he's amazing.
Oh, yeah, Todd. Yeah, he's a good friend. I think I'm going to see him next week. I think he's coming to town next week. So,
Oh, cool.
uh, so usually they have let's see, for right now performers are that involves let's see, Sage Sovereign, who is a fire performer, so she does a lot of fire breathing and fire manipulation. There is Xander Lovecraft, who is a little person who does different sort of sideshow things. I think what the last time I watched was like about a week or so ago. He was doing the human blockhead things and doing a little bit of talking as well. There's Albert Cadabra, who has an electricity act that involves
Huh.
him. Yeah, like literally, is he's shocking himself and doing things like turning on like a light bulb. Like you put touching a light bulb and turning it on, or the
Love it.
current gets so big they would actually he could catch torches on fire,
Wow.
like literally like touched it and like torch of like our like his tongue or his head, like the torches will literally catch on fire. So stuff like that, and then they'll have like a run, like then usually they'll have like a rotating Obsidian Absurd, who is like a belly dancer who does like a sword act, but she does a sword act on broken glass, that sort of stuff, and things like that. I think that's what's going on right now, and then they have like a rotating like guest spot, and like depends on who it
Oh,
is week to week.
wow. That's
And
so
then they
cool.
do, yeah, and then they have like there's I think Saturday there's a nighttime show for like a really popular sideshow troupe called the Oddworld Danger Show. They're performing there on Saturday, which I'll be watching that show. I know all the performers there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And that's all happening on Coney Island.
Yeah, no, it's happening. Like
Wow.
this is like in the
Love it.
shadow of the Wonder Wheel. I mean, so it's which is over 100 years old and still amazing. So
When I was a kid, I was probably about 5 or 6 years old at most. I remember going to Coney Island and we'd always see the parachute jump. It's like the
yeah, the tower's still there, but they don't do the parachute jump
no,
anymore.
I'm sure they
Uh,
do. And what with I forgot what they used to call the roller coaster.
there's the cyclone.
The cyclone. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
actually
which that
drawn. I've drawn pictures of the cyclone, and I've had people buy them.
oh wow.
They're from New York, and it's like sitting on walls in Florida right now. Pretty
No,
funny.
yeah, Cyclone. I think it's the oldest roller coaster in America. I think.
Yeah, it was
So
all wood
so at least
too.
wood, at least wooden. Um,
Yeah,
no, it's yeah, my first trip here to New York. My part of my thing was I had to make the pilgrimage to Coney Island, being a sideshow person, and yep, I they just like this was just right when stuff started opening up again. Is when I traveled. New York wasn't open because like everything closed at like 10, which for like New York is unheard of. Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, it's and so like in that respect, like I missed out on some of that stuff, which is still fine. I just was at people's houses and I was there to see people. I wasn't there to see things. But I made the pilgrimage to Coney Island. That way I could say I've been to Coney. Um, Even though Coney Island, USA wasn't opened at the time, but knowing
yeah,
people who worked there, I was able to go inside and check stuff out. Um, but yeah, but I made a point. Like they just opened up the ride, so I got to ride the Wonder Wheel. I got to ride, the Cyclone. I got to ride like this old like haunted house ride that literally is like it's like electricity pushing a cart along, like from like the 1930s, like that style of. I rode it and it made me think of like the old Disneyland rides,
yeah.
like the ones that are like just like ride like the Peter Pan or Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It's like very much like that. Like literally, when I read, I go, "This is like Disney, like the old Disneyland rides," which I'm sure are not even there anymore. But I remember, like when
No,
I was a kid, riding those old rides where the carts are moving along because they're hitting the current on the rail. Uh, but yeah, no, it's still fun. It's communism. Everyone keeps telling me, goes, it's not like what it used to be. And I go, all right, it's not the 1910s. Of course, it's not
right,
like it used to be.
right. It
Uh,
will be
but
again. That's the beauty of it.
but I can still like walk down and I can feel what it was, and that's good enough for me. And there's a lot of people trying to maintain it, or even like I don't even need it to maintain it. I mean, it's the 21st century. We don't have to
Yeah.
maintain that stuff. As long as it's honest about what the place is as far as the feeling,
Well,
I'm still good with
it
that.
was the destination for people. If you lived in Manhattan from like 1900 to 1950, 60, 70, that was the destination when you went to the beach.
Yeah.
And I have pictures of my grandparents like in 19, probably 1923, 24 on Coney Island. And my grandfather's like in his suit. My grandmother's in this like huge dressy kind of thing. Uh, but yeah, Coney Island, man, crazy place. I've only
I'm
been.
gonna say I'm so far I'm digging it. So I've been really
Yeah,
happy being here. So I'm really it's slowly getting my place together here because when I moved up here in a little minivan, so a lot of my furniture I left, and so I'm slowly having to repiece stuff together.
yeah.
So that's a slow
How far from
process.
the water do you live?
Oh, how far? Literally, I walk out my front door. That's the last road. There's a sand dune, water.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, I live on the beach. Like there's little trees in between too, but I live on the inside towards. Yeah, I don't live on the Atlantic side of Coney Island. I live on the inside, so I don't really. I
Yeah.
like the people who come out here are mostly locals. I don't get a lot of tourists over here. It's mostly just the locals within blocks of each other. So, but no, like it's still awesome. The fact is like where I live is like literally there's the beach. If
Yeah.
I wanted to go hang out, run around with the dog, I totally could. It's been a little too rainy, like inconsistently rainy. So the idea of going out on the sand, wet sand with a big dog, it's not a good plan. So
There you go. It's funny. What kind of dog?
I have a Siberian Husky.
Oh, cool. Those are beautiful.
Oh, he's yeah, he knows it too. And
Yeah.
it's like half the like that's the other like part of the reason like when I knew my lease was coming up in Austin, so I knew I was moving out of Texas. I didn't know where I was going to go yet. I knew it wasn't. I knew I was leaving Texas because fuck Texas. Well, I would go get. There are a lot of great people in Texas, but like politically, fuck Texas. Uh, so I went, all right, cool. I would like in my mind, I'll go East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, and so I knew the West Coast pretty well. And I had a friend of mine who was willing to put me up in Portland, so that was like my safety school. I also have a friend that lives in Burbank. I kind of talked down with him, but him I would have to start paying immediately, and I couldn't guarantee what he was asking for stuff because it was LA prices. Uh, but it's still Burbank. It's a really nice place. I've been to it, and I love Burbank. Weirdly enough, I love Burbank.
Well, that's, I've lived here for 21 years, man. It's the first place I saw when I moved out of Santa Barbara, and I'm still here.
I don't know. It's like I talked somebody like somebody gets like when you go like I go I love LA. I love going to LA. I go the two places I love going is wandering around Burbank and Venice Beach, and like I could give really a care about. I mean I like the other stuff too, but like those are the two places I loved. I love still. So, but yeah, like that was the offers, and then like I had some friends in like the DC Baltimore area. Like they had a friend that had an extra room in her place that's willing to put me up for a while, and I go oh maybe there, and so and then I came to New York just to hang out, and then turns out that's what ended up being the bigger fit. So when I came to visit, it was like the perfect weekend. I didn't wait. The weather was perfect. I never waited for anything. Like not like I was going, oh, I don't wait. No, literally, I'd walk up and like right in, walk up just like all that's how it was, or just go and do a thing. No wait. Like even like I think at most I had to wait for a sub car. It was like 3 minutes
Yeah.
all weekend.
Nice
So
New York.
yeah, so it's like
You
literally it's how
want
it
it
was the
now?
entire time. We went across the Veracruz Bridge. Like my friend drove up. Like I flew
Which bridge?
into Baltimore. Pardon me?
Which bridge?
The
Verrazano?
Vera, yeah, Verrazano. Sorry.
Oh, the
So my
Narrows, yeah.
friend, yeah, so my friend Hot Todd, because Hot Todd Lincoln, he lives in Baltimore. So I flew into Baltimore. But the original plan is I was going to fly into Baltimore. He was going to work, and I was going to hang out with friends I know in the Baltimore D.C. area. And then he goes, "I took the day off work, so we're going to New York now." And I go, "Oh, you're driving." So we drove up, and the Verrazano Bridge. He like we drove through Verrazano Bridge like two like 5 minutes to go across, and he goes, "That's weird." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, that bridge usually takes like 25-30 minutes to get across every time I come here, no matter the time of day." And I go, "Oh, that's weird." Basically, I went weird, and like literally, that was the start of the weekend. In fact, there was no waiting anytime I was any place. I just went, "All right, cool, let's go do a thing." We walked right in to do it. That's how it
Yeah.
was the entire time.
Yeah, that's the pace of life in New York, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like I was cool with it. And then yeah, I had a friend of mine goes, "All right, cool. I figured you were very New Yorker." I go, "Really? I'm actually from California." But I adapt really quick to things, so
Yeah.
I
That's
figure
I
out.
grew up in that I grew up in that environment, and a lot of times people think I'm impatient, which I'm not. I'm actually a pretty patient person, but because I'm so direct about, because you have to be totally direct about what you want. It's like this, okay, that, and
Yeah.
you know, the West Coast, it's not so much like you have to dance around things. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't want to dance.
Oh, I can. That's yep. Totally get that. That's just how I like it. I guess growing up in Texas is kind of both of those worlds in a lot of
Yeah.
weird sort of way.
Oh yeah, I'm married
So
to a
so
Texan.
that's really both of those things. You're chill about a lot of things, and then you're direct about other things, and just that's just how it works. Just depends on what it is. You go, if I don't care about the thing, sure, whatever. Wouldn't take whatever times I want to do a thing. All right, we're doing a thing, and this is how it's going to work. Uh, but yeah,
You're
it's
you were born in Paso Robles, you said, right?
Paso Robles. Yeah, originally, yeah. The what's now wine country. Uh, at the time,
Yeah.
because I was yeah, well, see, I was born in '74, and so that was still
Oh, wow.
basically like still like California white trash was that
You must
area.
have been like this
Uh,
big.
yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, I lived like I was there for like most of the seven. I mean, I was a little kid, but I still have some memories of that stuff, and then talking with my
Of course.
siblings and stuff like that. So like, we lived on a little, like lived in a little kind of like ramshackle house up on
Okay.
Black Mountain, and
With
before
animals?
moving to
Did you have
Texas.
animals and stuff, or
Pardon me?
did you have animals? Did you grow up like in an
I think we
actual?
had goats. We had
Oh,
goats,
wow.
and we had like we had my mother had like raised was did like German shepherds. So I actually my first my and I had actually had a dog for a nanny, for lack of a better term. Like I would like as a little kid would go wander around the neighbor, like wander the woods, and as long as Baroness was with me, I could go wherever because that dog, I was that dog's pup for all intents and purposes. So like I could literally wander around anywhere as long as Baroness was with me, and she was always with me. So yeah, no, I think we had goats. Probably had chickens, I'm sure, because if you have goats and like stuff like that, you have chickens too. I mean, it's just um, I don't remember like other than Baroness, and I have vague memories of goats. I don't know what else because I was a little kid,
Yeah, yeah. We had a
and
duck.
a duck.
Yeah, I lived on Long Island, so whereas I mean, I was born in Manhattan, grew up pretty much on the island.
Okay,
Uh, so it was like 1960s. So there was a duck farm, and they got us a duck, and that was
there you go.
a quarter of an acre.
Yeah, it's like I'm like the youngest, like by 13 years the youngest, and so all my siblings are 13, 15, and 16 years older than me, and so they're all grew up in the valley for California and stuff like that, and so it's really interesting. So they grew up in the 60s. You're probably approximately the same age as my oldest sister. Uh,
Me, 60. I'm 67.
oh well, my okay, not far off. My oldest sister is 62, so.
Oh,
That's
she's a baby.
oh yeah.
I'm
So
thrilled to be 67, man. I got through a lot to get here.
no, it's amazing. That's why I talk to people about stuff and they ask me the age and I go, all right, cool, yeah, I'm 46, and they go, no, you're not. I go, yeah, I'm 46. How? What? I go, I just figured my shit out, or like, dude, it took me a while to figure my shit out. Live life, married, divorced, married, wife died, figure my shit out. And then since then, I've just been, all right, cool. Now it's time for me to be me, and so that's why I started
Yeah,
doing all this.
yeah, cool.
So yeah, and then talking with amazing people like you and everybody
Well,
watching right now. It's Michael Mortilla. Follow him on all the social medias and go to midlifecrisis.com. It's midi, not midlife. I mean, we're all having that midlife crisis. Uh, but midlifecrisis.com to check out all his really cool stuff. Um, we got like 12 minutes of this. Can you believe that? Just,
what is it?
uh,
Does it usually not go this slow? Oh,
what?
here's the music. Let's play some
No,
more
no,
music.
no, it's going great. I'm just saying, I'm just making the mention that we're doing great. Uh, we talked a little bit one of the things I know you do because we talked about it a little briefly is you do stuff for theatrical productions, you do stuff for dance stuff like that. But you've worked with films, and I know you do stuff with like Turner classic movies. What are because like a lot of the old silent films. Uh, is there anything like big that people may not be that may like if they turn on Turner classic movies, would there be a movie something can pop on and go, oh yeah, that's Michael. He did the music for that.
But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I've done for them. But more recently, it was something called Hollywood Home Movies, which I did
Oh yeah,
in conjunction with the Academy of Motion Pictures, and they would know it was me because I appeared on screen, which is kind of
yeah.
rare. But I scored the Mutuals. There's 12 films that Charlie Chaplin did from like 1914 to 1915, 1917, somewhere around there.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I've done a bunch of stuff for the National Film Preservation Foundation. Some Alfred Hitchcock's first film, um, which I scored for violin and piano. He was the assistant director. Do you know the name of the film?
Oh, were you the assistant?
No,
I know off the top of my head
you'll
now.
never get it because oh, what's his name? Grant Coots or somebody was listed as a director. It's called The White Shadow, and
Yes,
I
yes, I do know
scored
what you're
that.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's an excerpt of that actually on my website. But you can probably Google it and find this excerpt somewhere. The NFPF National Film Preservation Foundation I think has a clip on it. Um, but that's really interesting. Hitchcock assistant director. He set. He wrote the script for the intertitles, and he edited the film. I can't. Graham Cotts or Coots or something like that. I can't remember who the director was.
Well, one
Anyway,
second, I'll find it
but
because I'm a nerd. It's just White Shadow or the White Shadows.
the White Shadow. It's
That's
19.
Graham Coots. Yeah, Graham
Graham
Coots right
Coots.
here.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
oh yeah. Hitchcock was one of the writers from 1924. It was called The White Shadow originally, but now it's called White
And
Shadows.
it's a really interesting film. Not Betty Comden. I can't remember. I think it's
Betty
Betty
Compson.
Compson. Was
Yeah,
played
I
the
pulled it up
role.
on IMDb. So
She plays a twin sister. So it's a dual role, like the Parent Trap with Haley Mills. So they dubbed this woman in twice to be herself, which was that's pretty heavy duty stuff for 1924 when you're just still doing in camera effects. Uh,
yeah.
but it was really well done. It was a great film. It's only half there. There's 3 of 6 reels that exist. So when we did it for the Academy, we did it, and Eva Marie Saint narrated what would have been the second half of the film. So that was kind of cool. So I got to
Oh,
create music for Eva Marie Saint, which I really love doing.
I'm gonna. That's
That was
amazing.
amazing. It was fun. That was fun.
I love Eva Marie Saint. So
Oh yeah,
that's also
yeah,
cool. The old Hitchcock girl. That's pretty cool that she came and did that.
yeah.
Uh,
No, she
yeah,
was
no,
like
I'm like,
she was so elegant about it because she only knew she was going to be uh, narrating it, but she didn't know that she was going to have entrance music. So she turned to me. And it's like, oh, so nice to have entrance. It's just to have Eva Marie Saint turn to you and thank you for her introductory music. But
no, it's yeah, like like yeah,
privilege.
like Hitchcock
I'm
was one of the
privileged.
writers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm actually looking at all this stuff like that based on the novel Children of Chance, White
Yeah.
Shadows. I'm gonna track that down to watch that because yeah, that's the thing. They only found 3 of the 6 reels.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, one of my
and like
favorite pieces of music that I ever wrote there. Something like that.
okay,
And
yeah,
I have
yeah.
a great violinist who's making it's the was it the Black Cat Cafe or something like that in Paris. And the violinist in the score, I really wrote pictures of cats where I wanted her to make cat sounds. And she was great. Just give her the freedom to like whatever sound you think fits there, honey, you do it. And she's like, meow, meow. It was fun.
That sounds amazing. Um, so you get the oh, pardon, Gesundheit. Uh,
I think
Yeah, so you
that's
get the show coming. So you get the show at Oxnard that premieres. When is that going to be premiering? I know you said you're finishing up the music.
July
Uh,
July 30th.
so it's actually premiering then. All right, cool. So yes,
First first 2 shows are sold out already.
that's
But it's a small
amazing.
it's a 49-seat theater, so
Oh, well, that's still something. So everybody who I know that's in the West Coast area, go check that out. It's amazing. Go to Oxnard, the Oxnard Theater. Could you say what
Theater
the name
de
of the
los
place was again?
Teatro de los Americas. It's called Wrench.
Wrench.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's a really
So
good
yeah,
show.
go check it out. If I were anywhere near there, I would totally go see that because that sounds amazing. And I love once
Right.
I love really good theater. I love theater. I love something that has like something like that, which actually has a score and a bit like that sort of stuff, which is a lot of fun too. Versus just like somebody hitting a boombox. Uh, I mean
Well,
that's
the
just fun
director is
too. But,
amazing too. It's more of, not more of a movement piece, but it's a very much a movement piece as well as a dialogue piece.
okay, very
Yeah.
good.
So there's a lot of really interesting interactions between characters that are nonverbal, which is
Very
cool.
cool.
And it's also bilingual. The actors are free to speak their lines in English or Spanish, and the audience is bilingual, pretty much in Oxnard. It's like that's farm country.
Yeah,
Those are the people that bring stuff to your table.
yeah.
So
No, it's
that's kind of
that
cool that
sounds
you're getting that.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that plus it's like California is like so one of those sort of states, especially Southern California, where a lot of people are at least a little bit bilingual, even if they're not fully so. That sounds amazing. I suppose I wish you nothing but great success for the. I wish for this to grow from something just from like a little 49 seat theater to getting much bigger, which I'm sure the
Actually,
director probably wouldn't
they,
mind either.
they do have interest at some other venues that I can't mention the names of.
Well, because it
But
hasn't one is it hasn't happened yet, and
yeah,
two is
but there's interest to do it elsewhere.
well, that's good.
And
This is like
we
previews.
did this production was originally done in 1994 at UC
Okay.
Santa Barbara, and
Okay.
then they just remounted it for Oxnard, and since I did the '94 production, they asked me to come in and do this one. So it's a good and just to do theater, that's
Yeah.
as I said earlier, I'm a theater composer, so you had me at theater.
No, it sounds amazing. That sounds great. So, everybody, because we're just about out of time, I had a
Yeah, for
great
one,
time talking
thank
with
you
you.
for joining us tonight,
Yeah.
and we'll be back next. I'm kidding.
No, yeah, like literally, you're welcome. Like you, anytime you want to come chat about stuff, I would love to have you because I had a great time chatting with you. I think we're
Yeah,
only
the same
scratched
here.
the surface. I would
I
love
feel
to
like
like
I
I
know
would
you.
love. Yeah, no, it's the idea. It's like that's how it works. This is how it works.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like the weird. I go, I'll deep dive talk about music theory and shit like that too, because I love
Oh,
all
wow.
that sort of stuff. I
Oh,
love all like that's it. I like how the sausage is
wait.
made.
So we
So
don't
I
have
like.
to talk. If you want to talk about music theory, we can do that now. Did I mention I
We
taught at the
can.
university?
I tell you what, yeah, it's I mean, like more just like casual talk, not like going, all
I
right,
know.
cool, here's the slides. No, as far as like it's like I said, I love how sausage is made. So when it comes to any sort of entertainment based sort of stuff, I'm the one who like literally I'll go watch movies and like even if it's a shitty movie, I will find something good about it, but I'll just focus on that. I go, wow, yes, this movie is bad in all respects, but it had really great lighting design. That's what I'll talk about. Or I'll go, oh, it had really good music, and like that's what I'll, like. But I like segmenting that stuff off because that's how I watch stuff now. I
So
mean, going to like I went,
do you like ragtime?
I do. I love ragtime.
Okay, I'm gonna play a ragtime piece for you. This is the first piece I ever wrote.
Okay, yeah, and then we'll get out of here. That's amazing.
Thank you. That's called
So
Sunday
so
Rag.
good.
It's
That is so
copyright
good.
1973.
Oh wow. So a year before I was born. It's good to know.
Oh,
So
that's
thank
very
you.
cool.
Yeah, no. So thank you so much, Michael, once again for joining us, watching the show. Yeah, you're welcome anytime you want to talk about whatever. I'm
Fun.
happy to do so. Um, stay tuned. There's more stuff happening later. Check me out the next week. Myself and Scott the Clown, Gaffing the Truth. We're talking haunted locations on Tuesday, Wednesdays. I've got a new edition of Devil's Hour where I'm showcasing some really fun stuff like the Spasms, Cecil the Sad Clown, and then some other band. I don't know. I've been drinking. I don't remember. And then on this show next week, this time is Danger Dave from the Stolen Stitches Sideshow out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We'll be talking weird sideshow stuff, and he's also a musician as well, believe it or not. And he does a lot of piano stuff like that. But he usually puts his piano on fire when he does music, so it'll be interesting. So everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Michael, once again. We can hang out afterwards, but also we got stuff like that. So everybody, be safe, be cool, be groovy, and as always, keep drinking.